So in the past 9 days, we have helped one of our real estate investor clients generate 19 leads with a cost per lead of $41 per lead, as well as 5 automated booked appointments. So these are motivated sellers who are, one, filling out a long form survey, which I'll talk about in just a second. And that's where the 19 leads have come from. And then out of those 19, 5 of them have self-booked their own appointment inside of our GoHighLevel funnel system. So in this video, I want to walk you through the numbers of the actual ad account. So you, if you're a real estate investor, can just see how Facebook ads work and see some of the behind the scenes of, what an agency or marketing company or even you yourself can do to generate motivated seller leads and off-market deals. And I'm also going to walk you through the overall strategy, because the Facebook ads is just kind of one piece to the puzzle. You need a proven funnel, proven ads, and proven SMS and email automation. That's really all you need to make this type of a system work. I've been building systems like this for a variety of different niches for the past 6 years, and I really focused in only on working with investors over the past 3.5 years. And I have seen this same strategy work for the past 6 years, the same way on Facebook. And I'm going to show you what that strategy is so you can implement it yourself, or just kind of get a better idea of, what it takes to convert Facebook ads into actual profit. And I'm also going to show you every single day of the Facebook ad data. So we're going to go live into this ad account. I'm going to show you each day and just show you some really cool things that I think if you're a marketer or you're interested in this kind of stuff is very interesting to see. So I've already highlighted that here, so I'll be showing you that. So let's first start with the walkthrough of the numbers. So like I said, the client has, signed up 9 days ago, or we launched the ads 9 days ago, and he has generated 19 leads with a cost per lead of $41 per lead. 5 of those have booked appointments, so right around 25% of the leads booked their own appointment, which creates a cost per booked appointment of $157. Now, the booked appointments are kind of the cherry on top, because in our actual ad accounts, we are only optimizing for website leads. We aren't optimizing for the booked appointments. So we're not optimizing around this cost. This is just to show you what the system will produce when you're running paid traffic to a funnel system, like I'll show you. So here's just a cost per lead screenshot, so you guys can see that here. And like I said, I'm going to be going into the ad account and showing you this in more detail either way. And then here is a screenshot inside of our client's sub account with us. So we have New Breed Investor that I've built. It's a real estate investing system built on GoHighLevel. And so the system is specifically designed to run paid Facebook ads to generate motivated sellers and help our clients who are real estate investors and wholesalers find off-market deals. So this is inside of this specific client's account, and there you can see the 5 booked appointments. And you can also see inside of High Level here, this channel, and you can see the channel is booked by the lead. So the lead themselves books their own appointment. They select their day and time that they want to get contacted, and basically this is the 5 leads out of the 19, or these are the 5 leads out of the 19 that booked their own appointments. So that is just an overview of the numbers. Now, what is the strategy that makes this whole thing actually work? So it's super simple. And like I said, I've been building this type of system for the past 6 years. I did it initially with a variety of different niches and things like that. And I just found my success with investors. So I've stuck with it ever since for the past 3.5 years. Managed a lot of ad spend and have seen data from this specific system really without changing too many things. And I can tell you confidently that, it works. There's a few things you need to get right to make it work, but this is all we're doing. So we're running Facebook video ads as well as some static images, and we are taking these leads to a survey page. So this is where we will collect the motivated, homeowner's reason for selling, their time frame for selling, their property type, and some other qualifying questions. So they fill this out first, which is where you get the actual lead generated right here. So this is off by 1. It's actually 19. But basically these 19 people here have seen the Facebook video ad or image, went to the survey page, filled out, that long form survey, and then 5 of those 19, when they were redirected to the calendar page, decided to select the day and time that they wanted to actually book an appointment. And if they book that appointment, after they do that, they're just redirected to a simple thank you page. There's really nothing here other than just, thanks for booking and just some booking detail confirmation. So there's really nothing here. So on the back end, we also have 3 phases of SMS and email follow-up. So when the lead gets generated and they fill out the survey, as soon as they fill out the survey, the lead is automatically contacted through our GoHighLevel automation via SMS and email. A lot of the responses we get are via SMS, but we do get some responses via email as well. And, basically the way this automation works is if the leads do not respond, they will go through phase one, which is about, I think it's like 10 to 15 SMS and emails that go out for about a few months. If they don't respond to that, they just simply move to phase two, which is just more of the same. If they don't respond to that, they just move into phase three, which is more of the same. And then we do even have extended follow-up sequences as well that go out for a year. And basically the idea here is just to continue to, stay in contact with leads that have filled out the actual survey, because I have seen firsthand, I use a software called PropStream. And basically, because we are generating verified property addresses in this survey, there's a tool on PropStream called List Automator. And so I've uploaded thousands of leads that we've generated for our clients. And with List Automator, you can basically monitor those addresses and see if they later list their property or sell. And so we have seen quite a bit of properties that we have generated. It's, it's over $100 million of real estate sales that properties ended up selling through leads we've generated. So this really is here to just support our clients so that they can actually stay in contact with the leads that we're generating, because maybe they're not ready immediately, which is what we're optimizing for. I'll show you, what we're doing to do that. But this is basically just to ensure that if leads aren't ready immediately, which the majority of people aren't going to be, then they're still going to get followed up with. But we just had 2 deals get locked up. I'm going to make a video on that in the last 3 or 4 days. And some of those leads came in same day and basically were under contract that same day. So I'll talk about the conversion API and some of the Facebook ads optimizations we're doing to target people that are more serious. But this follow-up right here is really just to make a connection for the homeowner between the ad that they filled out or the survey they filled out and a direct line of communication to our client. So, if you make the mistake of running ads and then you're downloading leads manually or whatever you're doing, and it takes you a day, 2 days to reach out to these leads, they just may not associate the actual ad with you and your business if, you're one of our clients. So this really just creates a strong connection. I would say the first message we send is probably the most important one, because that's right when they filled out the form. And if they engage, the homeowner engages with that follow-up, our clients get notified and they can just jump into our system and text the lead there. We've had leads fully sell their house with people that are not even in their state, all via text. So don't underestimate the power of texting. We've closed multiple deals with literally just text, homeowners sending photos of their property and literally negotiating and closing the entire deal from A to Z through text. So that's not going to be every single scenario, but don't underestimate the power of that initial text. And I would, like I said, beg to argue that first SMS or those first SMSs within the first few days probably outweigh some of the follow-up that even goes here, but it's virtually free, so we still have it here. So that's the strategy that we're using. And I want to talk about why this ad account is also succeeding. And then I'm going to get into the actual ad account and show you the breakdown of the numbers. So number one is there's sufficient ad spend. So this client is spending, I think it's $75 per day. So this is sufficient ad spend. Okay. So the client's not spending $5, $10. They're spending $75 per day. So we're pretty much on track to getting almost 2 leads per day. So by the end of 30 days, the client's going to get, around 60 leads, 50 to 60 leads. And within those 50 to 60, I'll talk about why, we pretty much know that this client's going to get deals under contract, but basically they're going to get a deal to, 2 deals per month with this spend. Okay. These are also proven markets as well. So what do I mean by that? Well, sometimes, whether you're running ads on your own or you're new to wholesaling or new to investing, whatever it is, this really translates to anything having to do with Facebook ads. A lot of the time, we as humans just need to know something is proven, right? If I know that I'm walking into a building and the roof is going to hold and the foundation is strong, I feel confident, right? If I go into a room or a building and I don't feel like, man, I don't even know if this thing's going to hold up, that creates anxiety and fear. And so when a client is coming to us and they're using the system the way I'll talk about in just a second, when we plug in proven markets where we know across, millions of dollars of ad spend that certain markets are going to get leads at a predictable cost, and they're going to convert into deals with good assignment fees, or, if you're going to flip it, margins to flip, then the client can basically start running the ads with confidence, because we're not guessing if these markets are going to work. We're not just running a test. We're not like just, oh, I hope this works. We're literally using markets that are proven, and we're implementing that into the system. And so we're really just adding fuel to the fire, and the client's just getting a piece of that. So sufficient ad spend plus proven markets is, a huge key. Now, sufficient ad spend doesn't mean $75 per day for every market. Like I just did a video, the video before this was a nationwide campaign. That individual is spending $20 per day with a cost per lead of $6. Now that's because he's targeting the entire United States. So I'll talk about what sufficient ad spend will be at the end of the video, but basically for these markets, this is a sufficient ad spend. Okay. Now there's differences and nuances here that would dictate what this needs to be for the markets you're targeting. But for this client, this is more than sufficient. And this is why I know that it's going to work. He knows it's going to work. And then it's pretty much just a matter of time before deals start closing. So the other thing here is the client is committed for more than 6 months. Now, we don't require our clients to sign a specific length that they're obligated to run the system, but like we just do month to month, because we know that the right clients stay and make money, so we don't have to lock people into any sort of contract or anything. So this client though is committed for 6 months plus, and part of that reason is because one of our other clients partners is working the leads, qualifying the leads, and closing the leads for this client. So there's a client that's paying us for our service, and we've connected that client with one of our partners who is taking on basically everything when it comes to getting the actual lead on the phone, negotiating the deal, and literally just making it so that our client just collects a check. So they have their own agreement. That's nothing that I'm involved with. But this is how I know that it's going to work, because the partner who's working this client's lead has closed, over 15 deals with our system. He knows how the automation works. He knows how the ads work. He knows, he's got experience in this specific business. And so he's locked up a lot of deals with our system. And so this was a perfect kind of situation because like I said, we run the ads, we do our part, and then we have somebody that is basically helping our client close these actual deals. So this is how I can pretty much say, okay, we know that the ads are getting leads, everything's working normally, and our client has proven that he knows how to, close deals with the system. So we're basically, just duplicating and scaling our success together. So I wanted to share that because this is kind of a huge, reason that, within the coming weeks and months, I'll be posting more and more results because we're just getting better investors, better clients that know what they're doing. They have the spend, they're committed for a long period of time. And some of our clients are now partnering up with each other and just closing deals together. So when you have all those pieces there, plus what we're doing, the ads, the funnel, all that, it's pretty much just a no-brainer. So that is the strategy. Well, that's the walkthrough of the numbers, the strategy, and then why the account is succeeding. And then I'm going to walk you through every single day of the Facebook ad data, and then I'll just show you a projection of this client's account now that we have a stabilized lead cost and just some things that, I'll be potentially doing to get higher intent leads. So let's get into the actual ad account. So this client we launched their ads on the 5th of February. So I want to show you guys these numbers here. So basically we have one campaign, that's all you need. And we have our budget of $75 per day. So this is campaign budget. And then within this one campaign, we have 3 ad sets. So these are basically two different markets, and 2 of these, like one of the markets, we're just testing different placements. But what I want to show you here is something that if you don't have experience, or you're running ads yourself, or you're not working with someone who's experienced, I'm going to show you something that may have freaked somebody out if they don't know what they're doing. So this is day one, $78 was spent. When you do campaign budget, basically their Facebook will spend, either $5 more or less, sometimes a little bit more or less, depending on if it thinks it can get leads that day. So this is why you'll see this kind of change every single day. But basically on day one, this is the metric that I want to show you. So if you're familiar with advertising or just cost per click, this ad set was generating clicks with just on day one with a cost per link click of $4.81. Now, I'm going to show you why I pay attention to this, but when you have a proven system, you really have to trust the numbers, and you'll see firsthand as I go through the actual ad account why I say that. So day one was $78 was spent, no leads were generated, and this ad set got 3 link clicks, $4.81 per link click. This ad set got 2 link clicks with a cost per link click of $23, which, like I said, if you're not working with someone that's experienced or you don't have a proven system, and even me 5-6 years ago when I started, I would have freaked out and turned off the ad sets and tried to redo the whole thing. And you can kind of see the same thing here. There's only 1 link click, $17 per link click. This is pretty high if you're just looking at the marketing metrics, right? And so this is day one. I didn't freak out. I know how this stuff works. So this was day one. So day two, we have a lower, we have 2 link clicks here, $7. So this went up from the previous day. We have, 2 link clicks here, $12. So it went down a little bit. And then this one that was at 1 click for $17 got 7 the next day. And I don't think there was any leads this day either. So there wasn't. And so this kind of leveled out a little bit. But there were still no leads. So this is $150. If we look at the first 2 days, it's $156 of spend, cost per link click of $9, which is better, but no leads, right? And somebody may have just turned those off and freaked out and then just tried to redo the whole system, right? But I know how this stuff works. So let's go into day 7 or February 7th. Total change in the numbers. So 4 leads came in, 3 from the first ad set, and then 1 from the last ad set here, and 23 clicks, right, with a cost per link click of $3. So now if we look at the first 3 days, we've got 4 leads with a fair cost, $58 per lead. This was right in line with what we told the client their lead cost would be, $50 to $60. So now after the first 3 days, things have leveled out. But day 1 and day 2, I saw these, especially day 1, I saw the cost per click and I was like, whoa, like the old me would have turned those off and been like, dang, we need to, I don't know what's going on. But as you get experience, you start to trust the numbers more. And sometimes it's freaky how much when you have like a proven system, the numbers always fall into place. And I've seen this with, like I said, millions of dollars of ad spend. So that was day 1 that I was like, would have freaked out and changed it. And then we go to, February 8th, we got 2 more leads with a cost per lead that day of $36 per lead. And now everything's looking good right here, right? And the ad sets that were, the initial ad set that was basically showing a $25 cost per click or $28 now is getting $5 cost per click, right? And for this type of business, which is finding distressed properties and motivated sellers, we don't want these click-through rates to be extremely high, right? Because if they're extremely high, then what we're advertising is probably a little too good to be true for our client actually closing a deal. We want people to think about a little bit before they click, watch our video, and make sure that when they click, they have more intent, right? And so even this is good. If you study marketing and click-through rate, someone would say 1 is, good, 1.5 is better. Anything above that is really, really good, depending on how you're looking at it, right? This isn't e-commerce where we're selling a product. We're getting high intent leads to close $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 deals. So we're not really looking for everyone, right? So this is February 8th. And then if we go to the 9th, we can see here a little bit of, no clicks here. Cost went up a little bit here, but 2 more leads, right? And I'll just go through, February 10th and look at this, 16 clicks. The next day, click-through rate basically just went up pretty significantly, and we got 1 lead that day. So sometimes you can see we got more clicks this day, but didn't even convert into a lead, right? But we still got 1 lead up here. So this is just showing you how the numbers kind of work sometimes, where sometimes you'll think something's not working. You got to give it time. And then when you give it enough time, if your system's proven, it's just going to fall into place. Sometimes you will need to relaunch ads. I mean, that's just the nature of it. But the more I've been running ads with Facebook, the more I found that they have developed systems internally to find who your audience is. So you don't want to cut your campaigns too short or spend too little, because you'll freak yourself out with that day one of, if you stopped ads on this day and you're just like, dude, this thing doesn't work. You basically think you lost $80. You spent, $23 for a click, and, you think it doesn't work, right? But now you start to look at that ad account over 5 days. We've got a nice click-through rate here, nice cost per click, and we've already given our client 9 leads, okay? And then I'll just kind of run through the last few days here. You can see here, 19 clicks on this one, this second ad set, none over here. CPM, super high if you know anything about CPMs, but if you don't pay attention, you only spent $1.58. And I talked about this on my last video where, when you run a campaign budget with Facebook ads, Facebook is going to spend in whatever ad set it thinks is going to, generate a result. So for whatever reason, it didn't decide to spend here. And if I manually controlled that spend through an ad set budget, that would have potentially been an ad set that I've spent, $20, $30 on that didn't produce a lead. So I've been liking the CBO better. Obviously, at the end of the day, you have to test, and, you got to run your own test. It's not a universal truth that it will always work, but for these types of systems with virtual wholesaling, we've just found that it's better to let Facebook, decide where to spend it. Plus, it just kind of takes that pressure off, because if you're controlling the spend yourself, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know if you should have spent more here. You don't know if you should have spent less here. And in a way, that's true for CBO too. I don't know if I should have spent $80 here, but I'd rather bank on, the billions of decisions the algorithm's making per second and let it decide where to push the spend than thinking I can kind of outperform that. And, so far it's been working. So that was the 11th. And then, here we've got the 12th, 4 leads here. So that was solid right there. Not sure why it's not showing that there, but 4 leads there, basically $20 per lead. And then you can see this ad set, right, had a very high cost per click, but it got the one click it did get was a lead. So this is kind of the reality of the numbers. And you can see here it didn't spend much here again. And I'll show you when we look at the whole campaign, where everything's at to date. But you can see next day, more clicks, 2 more leads from the top ad set. And then if we go back to yesterday, we can see no leads yesterday and no clicks on both of these ad sets here, 7 on this one. And now if we look at today, which it's only, 11 in the morning, we've already gotten 1 lead with $27. So now let's kind of take a step back and look at the entire campaign. So 18 leads total, and same logic here in terms of like how I'm managing it and the decisions I'm making for you guys that are interested in this. These are obviously performing great. Like there's reasons too that certain ad sets will be left on even if the cost per lead is more. I know someone commented that, like, why wouldn't you turn these 2 off and just push more into here? Because one, when you have multiple ad sets, like you saw, some days they're going to produce leads that, the other ad set won't. And if you kill these, right, you potentially risk running the ad set with, the full amount of spend. And over time, what I have seen is if you have like a campaign budget of $75 in this case, or let's just make it $100 per day just so the numbers are easier. If you have $100 per day going to, 3 ad sets initially, and you're running campaign budget, if you turn, these 2 off here, sometimes what I've seen is Facebook will start to throttle spend, obviously just in this, individual ad set because these other ones are off. And then all that happens is your cost per lead just goes up. So you have to be careful with how you redirect spend, because if you just increase the budget or you kill ad sets that are in fact performing, then what can happen is the lead cost just goes up and you lose some consistency on the ad account as a whole. So some days it's better that, maybe this ad account didn't get any sort of leads and this ad set did, because over time for our client, it's better for them to just keep getting consistent leads than just, trying to like over control it and trying to basically, optimize it around one specific ad set. There are ways to optimize this, don't get me wrong. But right here, you can see day by day, this kind of looked like, whoa, is this one and this one, they kind of look like, oh shoot, is this even working? But now when you look at it as a, the entire window of the time we've been running ads, now you can see that this is a stable ad account. And even here, this one has gotten only one lead and it's spent $92. But maybe in a week, it gets 4 or 5 more leads, and then it drops down into this, range right here. And if you cut this off too soon, you don't allow yourself to actually see with the data, what's happening. You're kind of just making a guess. So as long as the ad account itself is stable as a whole, there's no need to really overcorrect it and try to optimize it, because we also know too, there's a certain threshold that the ad account is going to perform at, just baked into the actual business model. There's other advertisers, there's other people running ads in the same areas. And so if you try to overestimate and make assumptions on things you can't really see yet, you risk, having to relaunch ads, get the ads relearning, versus if you just let it run, it'll stabilize itself. And that's why you see the delivery here is active. If you've ran ads before, sometimes you'll see learning limited, but with CBO, we found that it pretty much doesn't ever stay in that learning limited phase, because you've given it enough ad spend if you've done that, as well as enough population size. So it can just, it can run and be consistent. So this is what it looks like over, the past basically 10 days. And you can see here, we've got a nice cost per lead. It's actually $41. So this is more than, this is great, right, for this type of a client. And the only optimizations that I would do, I wouldn't change anything right in this moment, but similar to my last video, the only thing I would potentially do here and start to incorporate is stuff with the conversion API. So I can pause this and show you inside of what I did with the last video, and you guys can see how I incorporated that change. But I wouldn't really change anything here. Still want to give it more time. It's really only been 10 days. The cost is good. The feedback from the client's good. They're talking to leads. They're booking appointments. Everything's within KPI. So we don't want to mess that up. So I'll show you the conversion API stuff, which won't affect changing the actual ads, but I'll show you what we can do to start optimizing these existing ads. So let me pause for a sec. Okay, so this is inside of our snapshot. So this is basically the product that our investors get when they sign up for our Done For You services, or if they sign up for the Do-It-Yourself service. And basically, sorry, my cat's right here in the way. Basically, inside of this folder here, you can see I have this Facebook conversion API automations. And so if you're new to what this is, basically when iOS made changes to really, it's just, you'll start to see, I'm sure in the coming months, that things that have to do with cookies and tracking site data, there's just more and more blockers and things that are doing to basically prevent Facebook and some of these platforms from getting the data from the lead when they submit their information. So you'll continue to see this more and more, which is why the conversion API is, very important. But basically what this automation does, this is inside of our high level, is it basically triggers an event to Facebook when somebody submits the actual survey. So what we do is when someone submits the survey, we basically send this data. This is all automated over to Facebook, and then Facebook, gets that data from us, matches it with a customer profile, and then it'll populate with a value here. And so what I would do here with clients like this that are virtual, have a stable cost per lead, and there's room for optimization, is I wouldn't change anything here with the ads initially. Everything looks good. But what I will start to experiment with, as we probably get to 25, 30 leads and everything's, holds constant, is I can experiment with the quality of the lead. And so how can you do this? Well, basically we have our trigger, which is survey submitted, and then we have a condition here. So I can move this up here so you guys can see how to do this from scratch. So basically, when you're setting up the conversion API, it's pretty much just going to look like this unless you do what I'm about to show you. So the way this is configured right now is when someone fills out a survey, we're sending that data over to Facebook. So basically every lead that fills out the actual survey will be tracked by Facebook. And that's the initial starting point that we use with our client, is just running ads, getting leads into the system. If the account's performing well, which at this point, more and more of our clients it's just really, really working because we're using one conversion API for all of our clients. So there's a lot of ad spend going into this pixel. Basically, is what we can do is we can start to experiment with who we actually tell Facebook is a lead. So right now, right, you just see 19 leads. This is supposed to be 19. You see the spend, you see the cost, right? But then what happens is that's just marketing stuff, right? Part of being good at marketing is understanding it's not just marketing, right? And part of that is what lead is actually converting into profit for our client, not just what looks good on the ads manager, all that stuff. It's about who are they having good conversations with that they're actually locking deals up with and turning those into profit. And so as we've studied the leads that actually convert, we can start to dictate to Facebook who we're telling Facebook is a good lead or not. And so the way that we do that is we click on this little plus here. I can type if. Sometimes the high level search doesn't work that well. So it's this one called if else. And then we have these branches. So this is a conditional logic branch. If you're new to this, just hold tight and it'll make sense. And basically here you can name the branch, which I'll just leave unnamed for now. And then inside of this little drop down, we can select from any of these values inside of our system. And so, for example, let's say this is the most concrete way to kind of understand this concept. Let's say that the highest value lead for our client that they've actually collected profit on the survey fills out, like there's a high percentage of those leads that convert that say that they need to sell ASAP, right? Which is one of our drop downs in the survey. Well, what we can do here is we can choose contact details. And because we have this in our actual survey, we can choose, from this actual drop down here. So you can see how soon would you like to sell? This is what the entire field says. And then we can choose is, and then now we can actually choose from the question that's linked to the survey. And so just to make it simple, I'll just choose this and I'm going to save this. And then I'll walk you through this so you can understand how this works. So before, a lead would get submitted and we would tell Facebook that it generated a lead for us, which it did. But now we've told Facebook, hey, when someone submits this survey, GoHighLevel is going to run an internal condition. And that condition is basically when the lead filled out the survey, what did they select as how soon would they like to sell? And the only way that it's going to send this data over to Facebook is if the lead selected that they want to sell ASAP, right? And you would only make this decision if you have data that supports certain answers in a survey that are turning into profit. You wouldn't just make it up in your head and think that that's what works. You have to actually see clients close deals. And then when you've seen them close deals, look at the ones they've closed and find commonalities in the survey. Because now you're actually using real life feedback, not just, oh, well, that sounds like the right one to do. You want to actually prove that it works first, because you may find that people didn't want to select ASAP. I'm just being hypothetical, but you may find that people, that them selecting ASAP was not the highest indicator of a closed deal for your client. Maybe it's their reason for selling, right? Or maybe it's 3 months, but they just put 3 months, right? That's where you have to actually see, okay, these are 100 closed deals. Look at the survey responses. You can use ChatGPT to upload a list and find basically and sort by the commonalities within the submissions. And then you would make this type of a decision. So assuming that in this case, this would be, because we know the ones that work for us. So in this example, I'm just going to keep it simple with one condition. So now that we've told GoHighLevel, hey, when someone submits this survey, run a condition on that contact. If they basically selected in the survey that they need to sell ASAP, they will meet this condition and they will pass down the left side of the branch, and that data will be sent to Facebook. If they do not meet that condition, our client will still get the lead. They'll get the survey submission. They'll still get the lead, but Facebook won't know that there was an actual form submitted from, because they didn't meet that condition. And so what will start to happen is if you start to pour, let's just say 100 leads down your funnel and 50 have that ASAP condition, now you're starting to train the pixel to start to find commonalities in these customer profiles to find more of these people. And that's beyond what any one person even has that information, probably people deep in Facebook. But let's say that out of, the 100 leads, 50 select ASAP, and that is the actual, one of the actual things within the closed deals that you found leads to a converted deal, then Facebook is doing things we don't even know, right? Maybe they're looking at their browsing history. Maybe they're looking at pages they've liked. Maybe they're looking at content that they've engaged with. There's probably hundreds, if not thousands of data points that they can look at. And so when you start training the API to run off of this one condition, up here, then you're tapping into the power of Facebook to say, hey, these are my group of people that are most valuable to my business, and I want you to find more of them. And you really don't know what they're doing, but I would say that they're checking multiple different data points and they're finding commonalities. And like I said, it could be maybe they're using WhatsApp and they're sending messages, all that stuff they have access to. Maybe they're sending certain messages to their friend on Facebook Messenger. They're clicking certain posts, whatever it is, they can find what that is. And then over time, you start giving it enough data and it's basically going to start to steer it in this direction. So this would be the change, and this will be the change most likely that will be made to an ad account like this. I wouldn't really mess with the ads because we know the ads are proven and converting already. We would want to start to steer the data that we're sending to Facebook more in the direction of what we would find converts to a deal for our client. And so you can do that with just one field, right, which is one survey answer here. And you can also stack it with another condition as well. So this would be an and. If you do an or, it would mean one or the other. So if you did and, we can do contact details, and then maybe the another question is, let's just say they're behind on their mortgage payments and we want to do yes, 3 months plus. This is just hypothetical, but this is another survey question that we can stack in here. And so if we save this, now when someone submits a survey, it's going to run a condition. And if the contact selected how soon they would like to sell is ASAP, and they selected they are 3 months behind on their mortgage, now they're going to pass through this. Facebook will get that data. And so when you have a good amount of ad spend, you have a proven system, and you know what these what survey submissions are most likely to lead to a deal. This is, I think you'll probably start to see more and more content, and hear more about conversion API and stuff like this with situations like this, because now you're not just relying on what Facebook thinks is a lead. You're taking the actual real life data in the business, which is like, what is making me profit, not just Facebook thinks this is a good lead. No, you want to start to tell it, and this is the direction that we're going with multiple clients. And I've already started to apply it. I've added more qualifying questions, and this is where I'm really more experimenting with, because we know that ads are proven. We know how to create new ads that are fresh and convert as well. So this is really what we're trying to steer the pixel in the direction of, is finding these, serious sellers that need to move fast. And our job is basically to find what's converting and basically figure out what, submissions are leading to the actual, deal. So that is, what would be next for this ad account. Hope that brings you guys some value. And then lastly, I just want to show you guys a projection of, this account now that we've got a stable cost. So this is our, this is the deal calculator that I've made. This is what I go over with all of my investor clients before they sign up. And we basically understand their business and their deal size first. So how much they on average make from a deal. And then we come up with a projected lead cost that, we determine based on the markets and their available ad spend. And in this case, since the client's at $41, I'll just round it up to 50 to be conservative. And so basically, this is a projection of getting 3 deals within 3 months. And so we need 120 leads, 23 appointments, which is about a 25% booking rate. And then, it takes around 40 leads to get an actual deal. Most of our clients now are outperforming that. It's usually taking them less, but I like to be conservative, so I just say 40. So basically, to determine the cost per deal, you can just basically see here that you could divide the $6,000 of total spend over 3 months by 3, and that'll be the $2,000 a month in spend to get one deal, because this is 3 deals in 3 months. But more simply, you can just multiply the cost per lead times the like, for example, we've got a $41 cost per lead. You can just multiply that by 40. And that's going to be, okay, it's going to take you 40 leads to get one deal. And this is what you're paying per lead. So this is basically, $1,600 or whatever. So that in combination with, we already know one of our proven partners is qualifying, closing, calling the leads, doing all that stuff. We know this is going to work. It's already working, so it's just a matter of time. And I just got a few more case studies that I'll be recording here in a second, so you guys can see, because people ask, oh, how many deals did they actually get? But I've attempted to prove how many results we've gotten on YouTube and our website and stuff. So, if someone doesn't think it works, there's nothing I can really do to convince them, but it's working. This is what we're doing. So hope it found you guys well. And if you're an investor and you're looking for this type of a service done for you, there's a link below this video. You can book a paid consultation with me, and I'm a no pressure, I'm not going to try and pitch you and sell you and read off a script. It's just a conversation. It's a paid consultation. So I actually look at your ad account if you're running ads, or I look at your actual markets, and it's just a legitimate consultation of if this is going to work, because this is a service that we're providing, and we're working with you. So it's our job to really make sure up front that everything is going to work, because if it does, you're going to stay, you're going to make money, we're going to make money, and everything's good. So it is a paid consultation because it's an actual consultation. It's not just like a consultation and I'm just pitching you. So I'll show you into our ad accounts, show you what we're doing, all that good stuff, and give you an honest take on if it's going to work. And I just signed up somebody on Monday, and it was that simple. It was just like, she told me her markets. I knew those markets were proven. She had some other markets that we knew were proven as well, that we weren't advertising in, but we knew they would work based on other things I look into. And, she signed up, and now off we go, right? So if you're an investor, there's a link below. Check it out, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.